Uh, Today I'm going to demo two new features added in the sprint in the code real time 2.02. The first thing is like supporting C++ 23 in the art compiler. From the UI, from the edit properties, we can change that code standard. So we can update the code standard. Till now we have supported 20 only. From now we are able to set CPP 23 as well. So let me update to the latest version. CPP 23 is showing here. So it will update in the CPP code standard. So when I build the top DCGS, so we are sending this argument to the compiler. Let me clean and build. Yeah, you can see the compiler argument std23 is passing to the art compiler. This is one feature. Before moving to that shallow history, any questions so far? Yeah, thank you. If not, I'm going to the shallow history case. So this is the simple example I have created to represent the shallow history. Here the shallow history is we are representing with H. The shallow history is a behavior of navigating to that previous state, which is active before moving to the shallow history. So let me zoom here. So I can debug this. So in this diagram, so you can see that this is the top inner, which contains the shallow history, and it contains the substates of inner A and B. So whenever we make a transition to the shallow history, it should always need to re-navigate to the previous active state, but whatever the state we are in inner or A or B. So if you see the debug console, so our current active state is S1. So we are in the S1. So okay, so now I can. Now I'm navigating to the top inner state. Okay, so top inner from the initial point, we move to the inner state. As I already defined that shallow history, when we make a transition to the shallow history, it should navigate to that previous active state. So now I am calling the self transition, which is on top inner. So there is a called S2 self transition. This trigger will help us to create a self transition. So I'm clicking on the self transition. This is called, and so again I can see that the previous state is inner. So now the inner entry count is changed to 2 because it's retriggered again because we call the shallow history. Let's change the state from the inner to some other state, and let's call the self transition. Then we are expecting to call that state again from the shallow history. So now I'm calling the OP internal. So OP internal will take a decision whether it need to go to A or B. So we have given the transition codes like if it is a 1, it need to go to the A. If other than 1 as an input, it will go to the state B. So here calling internal state. I have given some random number 3. So it handed to the state B. So now I am calling to the self transition where the entry point again navigates to the shallow history. So we are expected to call B entry again because we are calling the shallow history using the self transition. So let me do that again. So I call the self transition again. So we navigated to the B, and entry count of the B got increased. So no matter how many times we do, it will always call that whenever we call shallow history, we always increase the entry count of B.